You get to build your coaching business exactly the way that you want to. You are 100% in control of everything. And let me say that again, because I really want to make sure you heard that. You are in control of your entire business. You decide how big a business that you want, whether you want to be on social media or not. Yep, that's what I just said. You don't have to be on social media. You get to decide how hard you're going to hustle or if you're hustling at all, where you're going to market, how many days a week you're going to coach. All of that is up to you. You get to decide what you're going to let people think about you, how you're going to be seen. It is all on you. You are actually the creator of your entire business. I'm Debbie Shadid. I help women just like you build beautiful boutique style coaching businesses without paid ads, with simple tech, and you get to build it on your terms, a business that fits the life that you want. If you love this idea, then subscribe for more. I had someone tell me this last week that they feared that having a business was going to be too much. And they were talking about a coaching business. They had this dream life that they wanted already. In fact, this woman was already retired. And she said, I'm with my grandkids. They live close by. I get to see my grandkids nearly every day. My parents are still alive. I'm taking care of them. And really, we have freedom to do what we want. And quite honestly, I don't have to make money. But I still have this thing I can't get over. For the last 20 years, I've been wanting to build a business and I can't get it out of my mind. But I have in my mind, it's going to take away all of those things. Let me just say, I was so grateful to have the opportunity to talk to her. And I'm so grateful to set the record straight with you today. I understand that if you've been listening to me, you've heard me say businesses take work and you have to work hard to have a business and you have to do the marketing and all those things. And let me say, all of that is true. And also, what is true is you get to decide how hard you are going to work, how often you are going to work. You get to decide when you take vacations. This is your business. So I really want to make sure that you understand I am here to teach you. Yes, I think you should do workshops. Of course I do. Yes, I think you should speak at our summit because I think it's the most amazing thing ever. But if you don't want to do those things, you don't have to. I want the biggest thing that you walk away with is that you decide how your business is going to be. You decide where you're going to market your business. This conversation that I had with this beautiful woman was so awesome because she had in her mind how her business had to be. And after we talked, she was like, I had no idea I could do it that way. I'm like, yes, everybody designs a business on their terms. It's not up to me what you do with your business. It is up to you. So let me write this down for you because I do think that it is important that you hear this because you actually might have something incredible to give to the world. You might be the perfect person to support a group of women through some particular thing. You might be the perfect person. Actually, you might be an answer to somebody's prayer. Let me just say it that way. And if you are sitting on the other side thinking, I don't have time, it's going to be too hard, it's going to take away everything that I have waited for in this retirement or this life that I've created now that my kids are out of the house. Let me just tell you, you're wrong about all that. You get to decide what kind of business you even want. And this is where I see a lot of people not taking action. And they're not even sure what the business is that they do want. So please take the time today to think about, what do you actually want it to be? When you say you don't want to work too hard, I'm going to ask you, well, how many hours do you want to work? And what is hard? If you answer those questions, that's going to be a lot easier to decide what is possible. The picture that you may have built in your mind is maybe unrealistic. And this is exactly why I'm here to talk to you about this today. If you want to run a business your way, it's possible. This beautiful woman that I was talking to, she was like, I'm going to have an office. I have to meet people there and all kinds of assumptions that for her niche, that might make sense. But the deal is you don't have to do it that way. Nobody has to have an office. Everybody can work in their house. Everybody can meet somebody on Zoom. Now, if you choose to have an office and if you choose to meet people in person, great. But also there are other ways to do business. You could coach 1 hour a week. So don't limit what it is that you're going to do because you've decided that you don't have enough time. The perspective that I gave to this person was, okay, wait a minute. If you don't want to work very much, why would you be working with somebody privately? If you really only wanted to work a few hours a week, why would we not be doing group support of some kind? And I'll tell you what, she never even thought of it. Because in her mind, she was like, no, this is personalized. This is customized. I can't do it individual. Well, let me tell you what, the best coaching that I do is in a small, intimate group. That's the best coaching I do. It's better than private coaching because when you work with me with a group of women, you are hearing all the other situations that privately I wouldn't even tell you about. Because when you work with somebody privately, you're often hyper-focused on one single thing. Like in business, we might be talking about one single marketing strategy. We might spend our whole time on that because that's what you think that you want. And so I come and coach you on that. When you're in a group situation, you hear other people who are giving different ideas and different perspectives. And every time people are like, wow, I didn't think of that. I had no idea I could do that. That's what happens when you're in a group setting. So you might be stuck on, oh no, mine's different. And it can be different. Let me just say, you can also meet people in all different ways. You could do some private. We do actually have some private in our group coaching. I actually onboard people privately. I actually get them started privately. I meet with people privately if they need extra support. Now, I do not sell private coaching, but I take care of people where they need to be taken care of. Can you see how I'm giving the level of support that you might be talking about, but I'm just doing it in a different way? Everything that I do is personalized based on somebody's niche and where they are in their business. This is applicable to you. I'm sharing my example so you see your own business in this. This particular woman said, oh yeah, but I have to have accountability every week. And I'm like, okay, well, let me tell you what. I have multiple accountability systems that involve no contact. You don't actually have to get on a call with them. You don't have to call them. You don't have to be on Zoom. And she's like, well, what do you mean? I'm like, well, you could have a text message system. You could have some kind of Google Sheet set up. And she's like, well, my people don't know tech. And I hear you on that. You know, everything that this woman said is something that other people have told me about, their concerns. And here's the thing. If you don't come get some help, I can't share with you ways around that. There's a way to help your people learn tech. And also, you can do things without tech at all. Every person that you know could text message you. That could be your accountability system. Every person already knows how to do that. They could send you a Facebook message. There's not anyone who doesn't know how to do Facebook. Although they might not like it, they know how to do Facebook. So if you don't know yet what options you have, then you're actually making decisions about putting your business on hold that you might not need to do. You have to explore what your options are. There are dozens of easier ways to run a business than you currently know, because all you know right now is what is in your brain. All you know right now is the idea that you have about how to run your business. I've been doing this for 26 years, and I have helped thousands of women. And besides helping thousands of women, I have talked to thousands of women. So I know all the ways that people have run businesses that you're not even thinking of. I know that there are coaches who have sold coaching at a good price where all they did was text message people. You know why? Because some people only want that kind of support. Some people are like, wow, all I have to do is text you and you will coach via text message. Yep, that's an option too. So you may have decided to put your business on hold when you didn't need to. I have helped people build every kind of business you can imagine. When you tell me that there's only one way to run your business, I'm going to tell you, I think that you are counting yourself out when you don't need to. The other thing I want to talk about is goals. If you can believe it or not, many women say to me, and you might be one, I'm listening, I don't actually need to make any money. Here's the deal. And I'm like, okay, like if you're already retired, I understand. Now, I will say once we start talking, people will say, well, I mean, it'd be nice to have some extra money. And maybe you're on the other end and you're like, are you kidding me? I need to pay my rent this month. So you can be in any place on the spectrum of I have to have money to I don't need any money. But the point is you get to decide what your goals are. Several people that I'm working with right now are in that category of I don't have to make any money. I don't want to work a ton of hours, but I want to do something that really matters. Like I want to have my own thing. I get that. You want to know that you are doing something worthy, that you're changing the world, that you're making a difference. I have a client who works 4 hours a week in her business because she's a busy attorney. She has kids in high school. Health is a big priority to her. She's married. She takes care of her own house. I mean, she didn't have time. I finally said to her, figure out what it is. That's how she came up with 4 hours. And I'm like, okay, if you have 4 hours, we're going to exactly decide what you're going to do with those 4 hours. Then you use those 4 hours specifically for one outcome. So we immediately decided with this particular client, okay, you can do 1 hour of group coaching a week. And I have to tell you, she was so hyper-focused, she made $100,000 in 9 months. I know I just said a lot of people are not interested in making that much money, but here's the deal. If you could make the money and it was easy, maybe you would think differently. This particular client was so interesting because she said, I will absolutely not do anything else except for what you tell me to do, because I'm not going to waste any time. I'm not going to watch any more videos. I'm not going to sign up for anything else. You tell me what to do. I will do it, period. Honestly, I'm not saying I'm the best of the best, but that got her to that $100,000 goal because she was hyper-focused. She didn't question anything that I told her. She just did it. And then when she did it, she brought it back and I looked at it. So you can build a business any way you want. What I told her, and let me tell you, those 4 hours, I said, okay, 1 hour of coaching, 1 hour for social media, 1 hour for coaching with me, okay, and 1 hour for consultation calls. That's what you do with the 4 hours a week. That's all the time that she had was 4 hours a week. So if you want to do that, it is totally possible. I also want to talk about you being overrun with clients, because that is a concern of a lot of people. And I have to admit, I remember thinking that too. I remember thinking like, I am so good at what I do. And I'm kind of giggling at this now. Like, I'm so good at what I do. In my mind, I was like, I'm going to be so overwhelmed. Everyone is going to want to work with me. Now, listen, I know that you are amazing. And I know that lots of people love you, maybe, maybe that's a situation. But here's what is interesting. The people who are your friends, your family, who've all said, like, you are so good at this, that you've been helping for free all along, they're not going to pay you. I mean, I hope I'm wrong, but they're probably not going to pay you. And I can tell you, this has been the case with just nearly everybody that I work with. The people that you are sure are going to be your first clients are never your clients. If you've already been helping them for free, that's what they expect. And truthfully, they don't really see you as a business person. So we need to find other people. So chances are on day one of you opening your business, you're probably not going to be as overrun as you think you are. But the bottom line is you're in charge of your own schedule. You say yes or no. You open your calendar. If you get fully booked the first week, then hallelujah, we close our calendar down and we put up a wait list. We're essentially saying, hey, we're sold out. I mean, how exciting would that be? But you're in charge of what hours you work. You're in charge of when somebody can book a call. It's not a matter of like, do they decide when they're going to get on your calendar? It's like, no, I decide what day my coaching is and what time it is and how long it is. Then they decide, the people who want to work with you, they decide if it fits the schedule that you have given them. When somebody comes and looks at my consultation calendar, if they are from the other side of the world, like I've had several Australia people lately, guess what? They have to take the last call of the day for me, and it's like 6 a.m. in the morning for them. But you know what? I have people do that, and I also work with people from Australia because they look at my calendar. They're like, I want it anyway. I'm going to make it work. I have worked with people who had to meet me at 1 o'clock in the morning. You set the calendar that works for you, and you're in control of it. You can even decide on your scheduling calendar. Let me get into the tech for just a moment. On your scheduling calendar, you can say, I am fully booked at X amount of appointments. If I have more than this many consultation calls, shut my calendar down. The technology also helps control what you're doing, but any day of the week you want to, you just block off your calendar. You're in charge. You get to decide where you want to market. No kidding. It doesn't mean that you have to do all the things. I have people who only want to talk in their local market about their business. In fact, I think that is amazing if you want to do that. I'm like, more power to you. That means you could skip social media. That means you could skip email marketing, if you're just going to meet people through your own network, you're going to send emails through your personal email. While that's not what I teach, you can build a business that way. 100%. People do it all the time. People build businesses on their regular Facebook page, not a business Facebook page. She said, well, and I don't know if I want a website. Do I have to have one? No. Do I teach about websites? Yes. Do most of my clients have websites? Yes. But you don't have to have one. You decide how many clients you're going to have, what kind of marketing you're going to do, how often you're going to market. Now, I want to emphasize there still are things that you're going to have to learn. Even the women who hire me who are not going to be on social media, who are not going to do any of the kind of marketing that we talked about, they still need help with their offer, with their price, how to sell, even simple things that we should know how to do that we don't know how to do, which is like, how do I collect a payment from somebody? It feels like that should be so easy, but if you've never done it before, how would you know how to collect a payment from somebody? And by the way, just FYI, it's not Cash App, it's not Venmo, it's not your personal PayPal. You're in business, so you do need to have a way to collect business payment. So that's kind of one of the subtle things that you need some help with. Marketing is the ATM to your business. Marketing is the only path to clients, but you get to decide how often and where you're going to do it. That's up to you. You might need to learn some of it, but you get to choose what you're going to do with that. You can have the simplest business, which I love so much. For the women that are in my audience that are a little bit older, they really do understand this because we actually had businesses before computers. You can actually have a business where it's not complicated. Today, everybody knows how to get on Zoom. That's not hard. Thanks to COVID, we all got, on FaceTime and on Zoom. So that sort of problem has been taken care of. It's been eliminated. Everybody knows how to text. Everybody knows how to do email. And everybody knows how to get on Zoom. That is all you need for a business. Honestly, all of those things, I don't know anyone that would pay you for coaching that doesn't know how to do that. So you could record your entire program. Let's say you're going to do a program on a voice memo. You could record it on a voice memo and not edit it. In fact, this idea for this episode that you are watching right now, you know how I did it? I recorded the whole thing on a voice memo, and then I put it into Claude and said, organize this. But the truth is, many people on YouTube today are women my age who are not even editing videos at all. They're not even sitting at a setup like this. There are people in their 70s and 80s that are recording on their phone outside with no good lighting, and they're just talking and they're not editing anything, and they're having success. So you could do it. In fact, you might have liked the whole entire thing that I spoke into my phone. You can also record everything that you want to teach on your phone. I'm in a coaching program, and I saw somebody getting coached about creating their own coaching program. They hadn't done it before. And this is somebody, by the way, who is wildly successful. She's on TikTok and on Instagram. I just joined this program. I got to put a plug in. It's called Growth House. I'm going to leave the link in the comments. She is on Instagram and TikTok and is making a wild amount of money. She did not have any coaching program. She does not have a website. She has no email marketing. She has none of that. And she made more money in 89 days than she made in any 1 year in her life at her corporate career. In 89 days, she's made more money. And by the way, half of that time, her TikTok account had been shut down because somebody had hacked into it. So can you imagine what is possible for you? But that particular woman was being coached around like, okay, what do I do now? And the coach that was coaching her said, look, you can record your things on your phone. And that is so true. It's exactly what I'm saying. Like, you don't have to edit anything. You can literally send out emails from your personal email. So there are so many ways. This TikTok program that I'm going to link in the show notes, it is actually about going viral on TikTok. I don't teach TikTok, so I went there to learn it, and I learned a whole new perspective on what you could do for business. So check out the link in my comments, and I will let you know. Yeah, keep following me. I went viral, by the way, on my third day of posting. My third day. I had 400 followers. And I have a video that did 127,000 views, and I have 400 followers. So the system works. I just got started with it. I'm excited to see what happens. But the point to all of that is you can market any way you want to. You can have a business exactly that way. You could have a link in your bio and you can sell one-off coaching sessions for $100 or one-off coaching sessions for $77, whatever you want. Now, there's a lot to this. You need to understand your niche, and you do need to, there's a lot more to this than what I'm saying. You need to understand your niche, and you need to understand how to talk about your business and all that kind of stuff. But honestly, my point is you can build a business any way you want to. When I started in 2017 online, I started coaching on Monday evenings from 6 to 8 p.m. I decided that 6 to 8 p.m. would work for any time zone and would help all the women who worked full-time could join me on Monday evenings. I liked Mondays because in my mind, it was a great way for people to get their week started. From 2017 until 2021, I only coached on Monday evenings for 2 hours all week long. The rest of the week, I did some consultation calls. I did some social media. I did 1 email a week. I did no workshops. This is all the stuff I teach now. No workshops. I posted on social media a few times, and then I had a webinar that I did. That's it. And I made several $100,000 over those years. And many of the women that I worked with, they started in 2017 and they worked with me until I closed that program in 2021. That is an ideal business. Today, I work all kinds of hours, right? I do all kinds of marketing because my goals have changed. So you can have any kind of business that you want. That first year, I think I made about $78,000 or $70,000. But my goodness, I was coaching 2 hours a week. So you get to do the business on your terms. That was my entire business until I decided I wanted more, until I knew that I could make a bigger impact, until my life had changed enough that I was like, I'm ready for this. We're all in different seasons. At the season of that, I was taking care of my mother and my grandmother, and I was doing it every day. So I needed to have more flexibility in my schedule, and that worked. It was so awesome. I loved it. They loved it. It was a win for everyone. So you get to do anything you want. I know I keep saying that, but this is what I want you to understand. Today, there are all types of sessions. You get to have support any way you want it. You can meet people on Voxer, through WhatsApp, through regular text message. By the way, I would say if you're going to meet people through regular text message, I do want you to decide to do it on a separate line than your personal number. I recommend using a Google phone number. It's free and you can have control over that. And honestly, it's super easy because all of my business messages, because you can text me, all of them are in my Google phone number, which is separate from my business phone number. So I can really keep track of things. So before you leave today, there's a couple of things that I want you to decide. Number one, I want you to decide what is it that you actually want? Instead of just saying, like, I want freedom. What does that mean? What do you actually want in your schedule? What do you want to do with the time? So before we leave, I want you to decide two things, okay? How many hours do you want to work? If you figure that out and like what you want your schedule to be, then you can open yourself up to like, what could I possibly do with 6 hours a week? What's possible for me with a business working 6 hours a week? How many weeks do I want to be on vacation? What am I going to do when holidays come? You get to decide all of that ahead of time. And just hear me on this. People don't want to work with you over a holiday anyway. So your holidays are not going to be taken away from you. So probably what you have made in your mind comes from your old corporate career. It comes from you asking for time off. When you work for yourself, you don't have to ask for permission from anyone. Now, you do need to honor the clients that you have, but otherwise, when you're in charge of your schedule, you make it when it works for you. When I was working on Mondays, if you're in the US, we have Memorial Day, we have Labor Day. Sometimes the holidays would fall on a Monday. I would just say, hey, no big deal. We'll do the call on Tuesday. I'm not going to take away the coaching call because it's a holiday. I'll just give it to you on Tuesday. So please answer the question, how many hours do you really want to work? And the second question that I want you to answer is, what are you willing to do? Like, you do have to market yourself. Decide what you're willing to do, and then you can figure out how it's going to work. Are you only going to talk to people in person? Are you only going to do social media? Are you going to only email people? Because in reality, you have to somehow tell about your business. You have to talk about your business somehow. So decide what way that's going to be. When you have those two things figured out, like I'm willing to work this many hours and this is what I'm going to do to market my business, even if you don't know how it's going to happen, what you're going to talk about, who you're going to talk to, what your offer is going to be, at least you have a starting point. Then you can say, I know what I'm willing to do. Now I'm going to build a business around that. I hope I have inspired you to see you're in control. It's a business on your terms. It is up to you how you do this. If you know you're meant to do this, please don't sit on your dream. If you know, like you've had this inner knowing that you're supposed to be helping people, don't give up on that. If you know you're ready to do this thing that you've been thinking about for the last 20 years, it's time. Do it on your terms. Make sure you check the link in the comments for Growth House. You don't have to be dancing on TikTok, by the way. Candace, the one that I shared with you about, she actually got most of her traction on Instagram. She's got over 1 million followers on Instagram. And let me tell you, all of her videos are from her car. She holds the phone right here, and they're all from her car. And they're amazing. They're just full of wisdom. But she's not dancing. She's not eating. She's not putting any makeup on. She's not doing any of the things that you think that you need to do. So it's a business built on your terms, business your way. So much love to you. Make sure you utilize the gifts that you have been given. Make sure you make your life mean something by helping somebody else. All right, have a beautiful and wonderful day. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.